Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I had a great question that comments asking, am I going to focus on buying more properties to increase my real estate portfolio, or am I going to focus on paying down my mortgage? So I'm going to reframe this question a little bit. So for me, in my mind, I'm thinking, do I want to continue buying more properties right now, or do I want to pivot and try to simplify my life and lower my expenses as I plan for early retirement to step away from my W 2 once I get married and have kids and start a family, because I know my priorities are going to change. And I hit the point, where I'm worth about $6 million. So now I'm going to start making moves that make my lifestyle and that improve my quality of life, right? Because I sacrificed a lot for the past 13 years. And now it's the point where I want to kind of cash in some of that work that I've done to make my life easier and to really live life on my terms, which is what I was really motivated to buy real estate, to invest, to retire early, to give me options, right? That's the whole point of me doing that. I don't care to get $100 million of net worth. If I get there, great. If not, that's fine, right? Like, that's way more money than I'll ever need. Even 6 million is way more than I ever need, right? And it'll still continue to grow, continue to compound. So right now, I'm not focusing on buying new properties, and it's kind of timely because interest rates are really high, right? 6.5 to 7%. I know they are going down, but back when I bought a lot, interest rates were like below 4%, and now that interest rates are higher, I kind of slowed down because I'm trying to stabilize my portfolio, right? I spent all of 2023 basically finished renovating my 26 unit, finished renovating my 20 unit, and then doing a burr on that, and then selling my mobile home park for a loss. And then all that kind of stabilized in November 2023. So since then, I've just kind of been like taking it easy, focusing on my personal life. Obviously, I got a new job, I just bought this new house, and I'm trying to recalibrate what my goals were. Because to be honest, from 2020 or from 2017 up until 2023, I'd say no, 2022, from 2017 to 2022, I've been focused on just scaling and building wealth and trying to retire early, right? I was in growth mode and I was always on an upward trajectory of growth, right? 2023 is when I hit my rock bottom. I was really stressed, really overwhelmed, really anxious, slightly depressed, all the above, right? Joys of entrepreneurship. But I hit rock bottom and just said, you know what? Why am I pushing myself this hard? So I was kind of focused on stabilizing myself, right? I was losing 10K a month in my mobile home park, so I wanted to sell it. It made sense for me to sell. I'm a buy and hold investor, but I was like, you know what? It's not an asset class that I like. It takes too much time, too much energy, bleeds too much money. Get rid of it. Take the loss. Rip the band-aid off, right? Lost 100K. Wrote off against my W-2, right? So I got back, 40% of that, so I ended up losing 60K, right? And then from there, my 20 units stabilized, my 26 units stabilized, and now I've just been owning it and seeing, okay, this is what's like owning stabilized apartments, right? Obviously apartments is more churn, right, compared to single family homes. You're always evicting somebody, repairing something, something breaks, you're fixing it up, so it's more constant. I have property managers taking care of it, but even with that, it's more constant, right? So 2017 to 2022, all growth. 2023 was me stabilizing and then trying to get clarity on what to do. 2024, I think it's pretty much pausing and getting clarity as well. Like, what's my next pivot, right? And right now, my mindset is to really kind of simplify, as well as to lower my expenses, right? So what does that look like? It's gonna potentially look like me becoming a real estate broker, right? Going straight to broker so that I could sell some of my single family homes, right? I might sell a single family home to pay off my primary residence here. And why that actually works is because those single family homes, there's a lot of equity in some of my single family homes. I think one has like $600,000, $700,000. It rents out for $4,000 a month. But if I were to sell that, take that money, right, $670,000, whatever after tax, pay off my primary residence, which I owe about $850K, and it's a 6.5% interest rate on this property. So it takes sense. It makes sense for two reasons. Number one, it's the highest interest rate, right? So it's the best return on my money. But number two is you need a place to live. That's your basic expense in life. If I can wipe out my biggest expense in life, then I'm a lot less stressed, right? Like my mortgage is about 5,500, and my property tax, insurance, utilities, all that, it's 2,000. So if I were to pay up my mortgage, it'd wipe off $5,500, which is like a pharmacist's paycheck, right? And I only have to pay 2,000 bucks a month. I mean, not just only, but 2,000 bucks a month. That's more manageable, right? So at that point, if I remove that mortgage, for sure, my future wife, fiance, she could work part time or even retire, and it'll just be me working, right? And I'll make enough. If I'm taking home, let's say $12,000, 2,000 goes to living expense, $10,000 left over to live your life, right? But I would sell a property to pay out that off, right? I would sell another property to get some more money to finish paying off my max funded index universal life insurance policy, as well as my max funded variable universal life insurance policy. So I have a video talking about it, but you can max fund these policies, the variable universal life and index universal life, over 7 years is the fastest you can do it, right? So it'd be like maybe $200,000 each policy, that you can max fund over 7 years. So I paused paying that because I'm trying to build up my reserves again. But if I sell the property, I can take that money, pay those off, and then those I can't put any more money in, and then that lowers another expense, right? And I know I get a lot of crap for owning whole life insurance, but I've been pretty transparent. It's not for everybody, but for me, I'm a higher net worth individual. It does make sense for me, right? It's not the best return on your money, being honest, but it's for a different purpose of building tax-free wealth, for some protections. It gives you some long-term care protections against death. If something were to happen to me, my family's taken care of. So for me personally, this is my opinion only. It's more for like those who have a higher net worth. For those who you're working middle class, you can't go wrong with term insurance, right? Which I own too, right? So like I'd say whole life insurance is like another tool in your tool belt, and it doesn't make sense for everybody, right? So keep an open mind to that, and it may not make sense now, but in the future it may, right? So for me, I want to lower that expense too. But otherwise, me and my fiance, we live pretty humbly, right? Like we can travel on a budget. We don't need to stay at the nicest restaurants, the nicest hotels, eat the nicest restaurants. Of course we will, but like for me, like if I'm never in my hotel, why should I pay like 500 bucks a day to stay there if I'm never there, right? Like I'd rather get a more budget hotel and explore the area. Like we get more fulfillment from that, right? So that's what I would do, right? So those are the moves that I'd make, and but still pausing because my life is changing rapidly right now, and now I have a fiance to consider my goals with, right? And I know for sure she wants to, um, step down to part time, and then maybe work 2 days a week, and then for me, I'll still be full time until eventually I hit the point where maybe I want to step down to part time, and then from there maybe I'll step away full time, right? So really, a lot of changes come for me in the not too distant future, right? And I'll bring my fiance on to talk about it, like what our goal is, but it's just not me anymore, right? And I know that like while I would like rapid growth, I know that like she wouldn't, and it doesn't make sense. And I've kind of hit the point too where it's just like, okay, like when's enough, right? And I feel like I kind of hit a point where I think I have enough. So now I'm gonna take some chips off the table, simplify my life a little bit, and repivot, right? And don't get me wrong, like I still want to buy real estate. Like I still want to buy single family homes in Huntsville, Alabama, and apartments in Oklahoma, but I may have to wait a little bit, right? And hopefully by the time I'm ready to buy again, um, interest rates will drop, right? So that it'll be more favorable in terms of doing it. Or I can still buy off market with creative financing, and interest rates don't matter, right? But like right now, I don't have the capacity to buy my real estate, right? Because I'm trying to sort my personal life situation, like what my goals are, and then continue to rebuild up my reserve, right? Because right now I dipped into my reserves, um, buying a bunch of real estate. So I needed to build up my reserves again, and then, basically just go back to my fundamentals of like, while I'm working, max out my 401k, invest in index funds, build other streams of income, right? I'm trying to make social media, hopefully, be a reasonable stream of income. Doesn't have to replace my W 2, but, just if I can step down to part time and this YouTube channel can support the other half, that's great. That's a win, right? Like, it doesn't need to be like $50,000, $60,000 a month, right? As long as I could maybe cover half my income so I can step down to part time, right? So I'm trying to more pivot towards kind of more lifestyle oriented decisions, which I put on hold while I was building wealth. So, anyways, hopefully this gives you some clarity as to what my next moves are. Like I said, right now I'm kind of pausing and focusing on my personal life, but I do want to continue to buy real estate. Um, Whenever interest rates drop, or let's say YouTube blows up for me and I make a crap ton of money, then by all means, if I can pay off this house, pay off my life insurance, and then I'm gonna go buy real estate again, right? So like, but it doesn't matter how long does it take me to feel that level of stabilization, right? And I could do it if I sold two properties tomorrow, right? I'd hit what I feel stabilized. But does that make sense to sell right now? Or should I wait until interest rates are a little bit lower when people start overbidding for single family homes and I can make more money, right? So like I don't mind keeping my status quo. So, anyways, if you're looking to buy multifamily real estate with some guidance, check out the mentorship program. I also offer coaching as well as 1 day workshops for those who, the main is a group of you that want to learn together. I do offer 1 day workshops. Um, but otherwise, let me know if you have any questions. Love to answer your questions. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who can find value from this video. Thank you so much.